Hi, I'm Brad Sugars. I'm the chairman and founder of Action Coach and, well, obviously looking to join our team at some level or another. And whether it's joining us as a team member in one of our global offices, as a franchisee, as part of our organisation around the world, or as a coach in one of our firms, I think it's important that you understand a little bit about the vision of our organisation, why we do what we do, not just what we do. You see, many years ago when I first started this company, I sat down and thought about what is it that we really want to achieve. You know, anyone can go to work and achieve a paycheck, but if you go to work and achieve something amazing, and that's really what we want to do at Action Coach, achieve amazing things. And I guess that's why I sat down and wrote the vision of the company, and it was actually in the hotel room after I'd delivered a seminar for 2 days and thought, you know what, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this in the most amazing way possible. And I wrote the vision of world abundance through business re-education. And I'd like to spend a few minutes explaining that and then going through our mission statement, because again, if you understand why we do what we do, you really get it. Because I don't know how to put this other than when you help a business owner achieve success, when you help them save their business, when you help them go from good to great, there's not much better feeling than creating the jobs you do and increasing the revenues and the community. Building a community by building businesses is something that is a big passion of mine, and hopefully it is for you too. So let me go through that vision step by step. World abundance. Well, the world. Why did I choose the world? Well, initially when I sat down and looked at it, I thought if I'm going to do this, we may as well do it so it's replicatable in all aspects of the world. Today I sit here, Action Coach is almost 24 years old, and we're in 73 countries as I speak, and my mission is to get to 120 countries, purely because I worked out many years ago that McDonald's was in 119, so I thought I should go for 120. And that's really one of the things we're looking to do in the next few years, I guess. Keep pushing, keep growing, keep expanding our network so that we can help more business owners. So the world was my playground. I didn't want to just be the best business coach in my hometown. I wanted to build the biggest and best business coaching company in the world. And again, why business coaching? I remember at the time, Trout and Reese had a great book called The 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing. And one of the immutable laws is if you can't be number one in a category, invent a new category or create a new category. And at the time, no one understood what business coaching was. In fact, because basically we invented the term and took it global, and you know, everyone knew what consulting was. And I remember at the time having to say to people, they'd say, "Is it like consulting?" You said, "Like consulting, only we do it every week and we stay with you for the long term, and we don't do it for you. We coach you to do it yourself." And trying to explain that to people was a lot of fun in the early days. And I think in some markets, it's still a lot of fun to try and explain what is a business coach to people. Abundance. See, I was studying abundance at the time and really learning the difference, because in college I studied to be an accountant, and of course you had to do macroeconomics, microeconomics, and you know I did multiple economics studies, and I guess you know that getting a point on the test for saying economics is the study of the allocation of scarce resources was great, but it's based on two assumptions, and the assumptions are that scarcity is real, and that assumption is yet to be debated by, you know, greater philosophers and greater mathematicians and scientists, and you and I have probably debated this a lot longer, but the way I look at it is pretty simple, that technology's allowed us to solve most of the scarcity issues. You know, if we go back to even the Club of Rome back in 1970 odd, when they were published on the front of Time magazine saying we're going to run out of oil, and you know, they didn't understand that wells would go to 10,000 feet and that the Alaska pipeline would get through and be able to do offshore drilling and so many different things, you know, and there's so much of that. So what I look at is the abundance side of it. And in business, I look at it from the more the more. And what I mean by that is a pretty simple thing. If one business grows, let's say you become a coach and you help a business owner to grow their business, and let's say they add 5, 10 employees to their business. Well, what you've just done is you've added 5 or 10 more customers to your local marketplace, people with money, people who are paying taxes, people who are generating more revenues for the local marketplace and generating better economic conditions for the marketplace. And so that business now has more people working there. There's now more customers for the other businesses. And so if you take a small town as a simple example, if you increase every business in the town, then all of a sudden everyone in the town has more money to spend, therefore other businesses can come in and so on. And so what abundance means to me is I wouldn't say it's the opposite of scarcity, but it's an open-mindedness of business owners to go after what is available. There's plenty out there. One of my early mentors used to say it slightly differently. He said, there's an ocean of abundance, and you can go to the ocean with a teaspoon, a bucket, or a tractor trailer, or you can pipe right in. And unfortunately, a lot of people see the world through scarcity mentality of there's not enough to go around. Well, the great thing about business is we create more, we add value, therefore we create more every time we go to work. And every time we do things, we create. And it's one of the most wonderful things about what we get to do as business coaches is that we get to create abundance for ourselves, for our clients, for their employees, for our community, even for the charities that our business owners that we coach serve. And if you become part of Action Coach, you will be asked to be a part of our Coaching for a Cause program. And that's where you actually will give your time free of charge to coach a not-for-profit or a charity in your marketplace. And often coaches find one that's sort of close to their heart or something they're passionate about to coach. And you'll find that one to be one of the most rewarding coaching things. And at our Business Excellence Forums, we actually give out the award for the best not-for-profit and their level of growth, because we think that's an important sector of society as well. We do actually have paying clients that are not-for-profits, but that's the Coaching for a Cause is about picking something that's a cause for you. So creating abundance through the world, the more, creating better businesses and adding jobs to communities is a big part of what we're here to do. And it's a driver for me and a driver for most of our coaches. Someone often asks me what makes a successful action coach, and I always tell them there's only one thing in common, because we've got great coaches who were nurses, great coaches who were school teachers, great coaches who were bankers, accountants, business owners. There's one thing in common with all great business coaches and great action coaches, and that they love helping other people succeed. See, if you join us just to make a paycheck, I doubt you're going to succeed that well. If you join us because you have a passion and a desire like we do to help others grow their business, then I think you'll do really well. So world abundance through business re-education. Why business? Well, first and foremost, that's what I knew. I knew business. I was good at business. Even though I was young, I was still very good at what I did and helped businesses grow and grew my own businesses and stuff. And the other reason why I chose through business re-education is because business owners are willing to pay for the coaching, because you can pay for yourself, basically. And at Action Coach, we were the first company to ever guarantee business coaching results. But because you can increase their sales or increase their marketing or increase their margins and add to their bottom line, it pays for itself. So it's something where people love buying it, And when you look at white-collar professions, professional services such as accounting or legal professions, I love them to death, but I am an accountant by trading, but most people don't love doing business with them. Whereas with an action coach, interestingly enough, when we give out our awards each quarter and each year, our clients stand up there and say they actually use the word love of their action coach, and it's quite amusing to see and to me, it's one of the most heartwarming aspects of our business, that our clients become great friends with their coach. They see them as someone that's helped them, and they use the word love, and that to me is amazing, that a professional services business can garner that level of emotion from their clients. And there's many reasons for it. If you look at what we do, whilst what we do is we help them with their sales, their marketing, their time management, their recruiting, their people, their management and leadership skills. What we actually do is we get them to go and see their kids' football game, or we get them to be able to pick their kids up from school, or we get them to be able to go away for a long weekend or even an actual vacation. We get them to stop being stressed, to stop having relationship fights because there's money fights. If you look at what we really do is help human beings have much better lives by fixing their business. I was literally just yesterday chatting with a coach about the fact that she gets a lot of referrals from psychiatrists for stressed out business owners, because they're stressed for a reason. They're stressed because their business isn't doing what they wanted it to do, and that's what we get to help them with. And you know, I've had the privilege of doing this for 24 years, and not only do I have the privilege of coaching business owners, but I have the privilege now of coaching you, my coaches, and coaching my coaches to be better at what they do, and through that have massive impact out there in the world, and I love that on a daily basis. Re-education. Education comes from the Latin root educare, meaning to draw out. So when you look at education today, it's sort of become more schooling than education, where it's more rote learning. And I know we're getting better and better at it around the world, but still there's a level with which education has become, you know, force it in, teach the information rather than draw out the knowledge. And that's really what I want coaches doing. I want you drawing out the knowledge and the ability for people. You know, one of the things that a coach does is I guess, there's four main reasons coaching works. Number one is that we do bring a system and knowledge base to the table. We bring a level of knowledge that most of our clients don't have. You know, most of our clients are very good at the job of their business, but not very good at the running of their business, if that makes sense. They're very good locksmiths, or very good hairdressers, or very good at lawyers, and they're very good at the job of the business, but not so good at the running of the business. And that's where we bring that knowledge base. So that's probably the number one reason of why it works, giving them an extra set of knowledge, which, you know, I'm now at 15, almost 16 books on the subject of business and making money through wealth and investing and sales and marketing and stuff. But that knowledge base is only one reason it succeeds. The second reason it succeeds is the accountability. You bring a level of accountability to those people that want coaching. You know, it's kind of like having a personal trainer for fitness. You probably would still do some fitness if you didn't have a personal trainer, but you wouldn't do it as hard, as much, as fast, etc. And that's what we find with business coaching, is that our clients do a good job, but our goal is to make them do a great job. You know, unfortunately, when you're a business owner, you don't have anyone to hold you accountable. You know, and as long as you're paying the bills, there's no one chasing you. Whereas in, you know, big business has an advantage in that they have a board of directors and shareholders who demand growth and demand performance, and that's part of your role as a coach with clients. I think the third reason that coaching works is that you give them an outsider's perspective. You know, it's very hard to see the forest for the trees in your own business. When you're stuck in your own business, it's difficult for you to actually see what's wrong. And it's funny, you know, we take business owners and we say, okay, talk to this other business owner and tell them what they need to do, and they've got a million ideas for them, but their own business, they're struggling. And so that outsider's point of view is part of why coaching really works, in that you see it from the outside and give them that perspective. I think the next reason that coaching really works, and it's probably one of the biggest reasons, is that as a coach, you have a level of belief in people that they don't have in themselves. And I saw this recently with one of our coaches. His client just said to me, he said, Brad, I would never have achieved what I've achieved if Rob is the coach's name, if Rob hadn't believed in me at the level he did. His level of belief in me gave me belief in me. And you know, that is something, it's an intangible that no one can, you can't buy it, but you can get it, sort of thing, if that makes sense. And it's a big reason of why we do what we do at Action Coach, is to help people grow their business. And by looking at all of it, re-education, really what it means to me is sometimes it's the things you believe to be true that aren't true that actually are holding your business back. Like, you know, November's a slow month, or, you know, I'm no good at sales, or marketing doesn't work, or all of these silly little beliefs and stuff. And so we've got to re-educate business people. Most of them are really good at the job of the business. We've got to teach them to be great at business. See, I guess the simplest way to put that is business doesn't get easier, you get better at business. And that's what a coach's job is to educate their clients so their client gets better at business time and time again. If we go to the mission statement of Action Coach, and you know, our mission really covers us on four main areas: who we are, who our clients are, what business are we in, and what's unique about us. If I can start with who we are, you know, positive, committed, successful people. There's no use becoming a coach unless you commit to it. You know, coaching is never going to be the easiest job in the world, because business owners you're working with humans, and I love working with humans, and I love helping them grow. And it's not like you can fix a piece of software and it's done. It's a human being. There's always going to be challenge. So you've got to commit to them. You've got to be positive with them. And that's a big part of coaching. Oftentimes people ask me what makes a successful action coach. And as I said earlier, it's about that they love helping people. You've still got to add in all of the basics of business. You've got to be a self-starter. You've got to be committed. You've got to be all of those things if you want to be it. And that's really what the first part of our mission statement looks at. We work within our 14 points of culture to make sure that anyone who touches or is touched by Action Coach advances or gets a benefit in some way, becoming more of who they want to be. Educating people at every level as to how they can do better. And whether it's a blog post or a tweet or a one-on-one interaction at a networking function, we're always aiming to add value to the people we meet and add value to the business owners. And I think that's part of what our mission statement is really doing. It's saying we're aiming to help them achieve their goals. And a part of that as a coach is helping them define their goals. Our first part of coaching is always, making sure we help them define what are their goals, aligning them with their business and their personal goals. There's a couple of words in our mission now that I'm going to introduce you to. We always work in co-opetition with those who believe they're in competition with us. I don't know if I invented or founded the word co-opetition. After I wrote it, I've then found a book entitled Co-opetition, so that maybe it's just a universal principle. My belief is that, the more. And if we work with those who, and just like, I'll give you a simple example. Some accountants see themselves in competition with Action Coach, and yet the exact opposite is the way I see it. I see it, if we help their clients, then their clients grow their business, therefore their clients need more accounting work. It's co-opetition is about working together, that all business community can work together to achieve greater results for business. We're in the business of edutainment. If you ever get a chance to come along and see my seminars, I pride myself on the fact that I entertain as well as educate. It's got to be fun, and it's in many cases got to be funny. But the goal is to excite them. And I guess at the end of, I do 3-day seminars, I do 3-hour events. And I remember at the last 3-hour event I did, someone came up to me at the end of it and said, I can't believe that was 3 hours. And therefore I know I did a good job, because I helped them, I captivated them, I edutained them, educated and educated. We educate ourselves is another part of our mission, and I think that's a very important part of it. I love people who join Action Coach are the type of people that love learning. They're not just going to read my books once, they're going to read them 3 times. We have so much learning for people who join our team. Videos, audios, literally days and days of it. And the learning curve for most people who join our team for the first 90 to 180 days is literally vertical. And some have said it's for the first few years. And not only do we learn from the system that we have and the intellectual property that we have in our books and tapes and CDs, and see, there's how old I am. I'm saying tapes and CDs. They're all online these days, aren't they? When you look at that sort of stuff, all of that information, but you're also going to learn from each other. Our team, one of the things I pride ourselves on at Action Coach is that the community of coaches that we have who are willing and able and desirous of helping every new team member. It's quite phenomenal, that culture of team and the culture of there's always someone willing to help you out, whether it be on our online forums, in the Facebook group, or you pick up a phone and call someone and it be one-on-one, or at one of our conference events. There's always someone willing to help you out and give you advice and get you on the right path, or even come and help you present a seminar or work with you on a seminar. I just saw one today on our Facebook group, one of our coaches who literally drove 4 hours to help another coach out running their event. Those are the sorts of things that you just can't, I can't put them into words, but once you experience it, you'll start to understand what being a part of this team is all about. I guess the next word I want to pull out of our mission is world class. We always strive to be world class in everything we do. We always strive to be the best of the best. And now, interestingly enough, our client base is small business, so the look and feel of our brand has to be something that they can relate to. we don't want our small business owners to feel like we are too big or too expensive or too bold or too, too corporate for them to want to do business with. I like it when our business owners that we deal with, and most of them are, still owner-operators, and they could be doing 50 million a year, or they could be doing 500,000 or even a couple 100,000 a year. But they're the owner-operators, that's who we deal with, and it doesn't matter the size or type or shape of business, doesn't matter the country, but they're the people who we want to coach. The C-level corporate executives, we love coaching them, because they're making profit decisions for business, and doing that corporate level business coaching is very powerful as well. Our clients, that's the third part of our mission, as I just started to touch on. They get our commitment, and they commit to us too. I think, it's our clients need to commit to us. We don't mean commit to us, in life terms. We mean commit to the work, commit to doing their homework, commit to doing all those things that needs to be done, commit to making change, commit to themselves and their goals. I think they've got to work. When we use the word forward thinking in our mission statement, it's all about the fact that they realise that for things to change, first they have to change. For them to realise that they can't fix their staff or their business until they change their own thinking and their own knowledge base. And I've often been quoted as saying that a business grows to the owner's level of incompetence, that the moment you stop learning, the moment the business stops growing. And if a business stops growing, it starts dying. So we've got to be clear on that. Our clients are selected more on attitude than size. I think that point is really clear. And I know one of the reasons we're successful is that we're I wouldn't say we're tough on our clients, but we select our clients really well. We know who we're looking for, and we want people who want help. We don't want people who think they know it all, who are trying to put us to the test. We want people who realise that if they make shift and change, they can grow too. Part of it is that systems run a company and people run the systems. We've got to build great people, they build great systems, that builds great companies. And it's a very important part of my business and obviously your business, that Action Coach builds great people. We build great coaches. We help everyone become a better person. Our conferences, our webinars, our conference calls, these things are run weekly, monthly, they're all over the world, and they're all designed to help each of us get better at what we do. And as we get better and we build better systems, we run a better company. What's unique about us is I think that the last line of we give people back their spirit and freedom through business development. In a world of business, there's one term that I hear every now and again that I think, how did that ever become a reality? Whereas, it's not personal, it's just business. It is personal. It is personal. Business is always going to be personal. Business is something that, and if you're a business owner, it's something that either gives you back your spirit and your heart and makes you come alive, or it's something that kills your spirit. And too many business owners, their spirit gets killed and they struggle with the business, and they're only struggling because they lack some knowledge, or they're struggling because they don't see it. If I go back to when I first really started business coaching, I had a lot of clients and customers that were business owners in another business, and some of them went out of business. And to say that impacted me would be an understatement. When you meet someone who has gone bankrupt, they've lost their business and they've lost their way in life. And I've gone through it now again with a really good friend of mine who, just through circumstance and through some bad decisions, lost his business. And it literally took a year or two to build him back into the person he was. He lost confidence, he lost all those things. And whilst the positive side of why I do this is helping people and seeing the positive results, the negative side is that I think we probably save more businesses. In fact, I'll relate an example. One of my coaches told me a story of a gentleman that was a painter, a house painter. And he met him as a coach, and he said, I really feel bad because I wasn't good enough as a coach to convince him that he needed coaching. And what ended up happening is, and he said, you know, and a few months later I met another guy who was a painter, and I signed him on as a client. And 4 years later, that guy now employs 20-something odd people, and the business works so he doesn't have to. And he said, and then I literally saw the other guy on his ladder painting a building at some point, and I thought, geez, if only I was better at coaching, I would have helped that guy. You know, and yeah, not everyone wants to be helped, not everyone can be, but geez, if we can, that's our goal. The vision of Action Coach is about helping people. It's about creating an abundant economy, one business at a time, coaching one business person at a time, adding one job at a time, or 10 jobs at a time, depending on it. You know, one of the best awards we get to give out as a company is our annual award of who created the most jobs and created the most economic impact in their marketplace. And you know, I'm pleased to say that when you have coaches creating hundreds of jobs out there in the marketplace and adding tens of millions in extra revenue to their economy, in their local economy, that's a phenomenal thing. And if that's something you want to be a part of, then fantastic. We'd love to have you on the team at Action Coach. I hope by teaching you our vision and going through our mission, you get to understand a bit more about who we are and why we do what we do, because joining a team is not just about what they do, it's about who they are and why they do it more than it is about what they do. And that's really what our vision stands for as a company. You know, every time I ask great coaches, why did you join Action Coach? They say, you know, it was the vision, it was the mission, it was the culture. So hopefully you get to tune into my next video where I talk about the culture of Action Coach and why I built that culture and why that's important. And then also the other video on the history. Invest your time, learn a bit about us. I think you'll love the team that we are, and you'll get to be a great part of a team that's doing amazing things around the world. Look forward to chatting to you. Look forward to meeting with you. Bye for now.